All good. So welcome to your user group. We are ANZ Dynamics 365 FinOps team, and we are very glad, very excited to share. Like we got a new logo for our group, where we had just trying to capture all the people from Australia and New Zealand region in specifically. I would really like to thank all the volunteers who have been working hard, spending their time over the weekends, giving their time, family times, and especially speakers also. They are the main source of this particular group. And also, without having any attendances, uh, we can't go further. So thank you so much for all the people who have been involved in different roles, volunteers, speakers, and attendees. Uh, a quick overview, if you are attending this group first time, it's our routine, like we let you know who we are. And so we have posted this particular user group onto our LinkedIn website, on Twitter. uh, our intention is very simple. We just want to gather all the finance and operations and supply chain professionals from Australia and New Zealand to specifically. They can connect together, they can share information each other, and primarily we are the member oriented group. If you can come, you can join the group at any time. If you want to talk about on any topic, please feel free to jump in and say, okay, I'm here. I want to talk about this particular topic, and we are happy to host all your events. All we need from your side to get involved with the community. And for that one, we just mentioned you may have been using all these hashtags, but we also have our hashtag here, ANZ D65 FinOps team. If you want to write some blogs, you want to tag us, please feel free to use this particular tag here. We do need you. As I said, it's very easy, straightforward process to join. We have our dedicated LinkedIn page here. You can easily join and follow us there. We always schedule our events onto the LinkedIn. So keep eye onto the LinkedIn page. You will be notified all our upcoming events too. Similarly, you can follow us on Twitter. Very simple process, and it's a very simple name, ANZ D65. All our sessions are uploaded to our dedicated YouTube channel. Please do watch our all videos, and there is an introductory video which actually explains a lot about the theme and the background about the group, and uh, do share all the information with your all other fellow members. We have a very long list in upcoming sessions here. Uh, the most important topic is advanced warehousing. We are working on to the team members, and we are preparing from zero to hero sessions. In a way, we will be talking about how what is advanced warehousing, how you can how you can learn advanced warehousing. So there will be a series of 5 to 6 sessions. So we are scheduling and we are planning to schedule all these sessions for the whole community. If you want to learn more about the dual write integrations, data integrations, so all about data integrations, we also have scheduled some sessions, virtual entities and RSET, project operations, and punch out feature in finance and operations and supply chain. Uh, these are the few of the list which we already got right now, but there is a long queue, and so do connect with us on all our social media channels. With this one, again, thank you so much, and I would really like to thank Zishan for giving us again another uh, Saturday of his family time and going to present about a couple of features. It's over to you, Zishan.
Thank you very much, Faisal, for giving us an opportunity to present our topic and speak with our fellow members here with different regions. Guys, today I have chosen. Can you guys see my screen? Is it visible
Yep,
to everyone?
yep,
Yep. Okay.
yep.
Okay. So today's topic is to talk about the financial period close workspace. Um, I have chosen this topic because a couple of customers are quite happy to see this functionality, which was not available in previous version in AX 2012 or 2009. So I thought to put this into our attention that this can be quite useful for the customers. So let's talk about it here. Those who don't know me, my name is Zishan Sheikh. I'm working with DXC Technologies in New Zealand, based in Christchurch. I'm a lead consultant for finance. These are the contact details of mine, email address, and the LinkedIn if you would like to connect with me. If there's any query which I'm not able to respond, you can flick me an email or check me through the LinkedIn profile. I'll get back to you regards to that. All right. Moving further, what will you learn today from this session? As I mentioned that this workspace is quite useful for the finance or accountants who usually try to close the month-end activities. And as you know that for month-end activities, there are certain tasks which needs to be performed before we close the periods. It can be your inventory, it can be your payables, receivables, the invoices, all the open items which needs to be settled down before we close the period. Now, having said that, this this workspace can also be used for your year-end closing as well. So we will be understanding how actually we can be able to achieve these items from today's session. Uh, Today's agenda is we will be talking about the configuration for task areas, closing roles, who is the resource to be perform all these tasks. Do we have any specified calendar where we can be able to define specified days? So you can be able to do that. So all of these agenda for the configuration will be discussed in detailed, and the other item, once the configuration is completed or done, then we will see the outcome. How do we actually see in the workspace, and what are the activities can be done by individual resources. And we will be I'll show you the demonstration on these items, and we'll take your question and answer if there will be anything which I have missed it. Okay. Financial period close configuration comprises of six setups: task area, closing roles, resource allocation, closing calendar, closing templates, and generate closing schedule. These six areas should be completed. Without any of these items, you will not be able to complete your or use of this workspace, which is being designed for D365. So what is task area? The concept of task area in terms of configuration, we basically define the module, what a module we are talking about, and then we will be linking that area to the specified task. For example, in this particular example here, accounts payable. So uh, when I say accounts payable, it just ring the bell for the vendors. So I should be checking if the vendor have already made the payment. So I should make sure that it is being paid before we close the period. So similarly for accounts receivables, I'll be talking about customers. Customer have already made the deposit to our account, and it is fully reconciled with my aging. Same case with your other modules, bank and fixed assets. So whenever we are going to use the workspace, area is very much important in order to address which area are we talking about, and it is also dependent upon the roles which we will be assigning it to the resource. So the second configuration is the closing roles. So again, closing roles is quite independent from your security roles of D365. So for example, if I have defined accounts payable clerk D365 roles, it is not dependent upon this closing roles which you are seeing it on this screen. So these roles I have just created it by clicking on new button, and I have just made it up as accountant. Yep. So what it's very much important here is you just need to have access of the workspace from D365 security roles, but this closing roles is giving you an address of this resource who will be working on those tasks on your workspace. Yep. Moving further with the resource allocation. So let's say Zishan is an employee of USMF legal entity here, and he is responsible for the treasurer and the accountant. Same case for Teresa. Let's say that she is responsible for accounts payable and accounts receivable role. So employee are basically assigned to each closing role here, where we are basically defining which particular employee will be performing which task based on this closing roles. Yep. And here you can be able to define multiple legal entities if your customer has more than one legal entity and the same person is responsible for other legal entities as well. So let's say Zishan is responsible for treasurer, for USMF and DEMF. So you will be defining it here. Another thing I would like to highlight here is view. There are two options under view is only assigned task or all task and status. If I define as only assigned task, I'm sorry. If I choose only assigned task here, it means whenever I will open my workspace, I will only see the tasks which are only assigned to me. Whereas if I'm going to choose all tasks and status, it means that I can be able to see my tasks as well as Teresa and my other fellow members. So we'll be able to see those details based on these view options. Moving further with the calendar, as you know that every single region have their public holidays, separate specific public holidays, and some of the companies operate 6 days a week or 5 days a week. So you basically define your calendar based on your operations and how actually you work day to day based on your operations. So you will be defining it here. And if there will be any public holiday, then what you can do is after creation of your start date to end date, then you'll just go and edit and update the holiday period. Let's say there's uh, a lockdown period from 22nd of December till 4th of January. So you can be able to amend these dates from here. Yeah. The purpose of having this calendar is for this workspace is basically whenever we are going to run this workspace, system will calculate when this task to be completed, and it will be driven based on this calendar. System will automatically calculate the date for the specified task. If it's falling up on your Sunday, then it will automatically move to your next working day here. Let's move further. Closing template. This is very much important here. The closing template is the activity or task which you actually would like to perform for your month end activity or maybe your year end activity in the system. So sometimes what happens is some of the customer are maintaining all these tasks in the spreadsheet. So instead of defining it on spreadsheet, uh, uh, customers should be creating these configuration and define those respective tasks on this configuration. So whenever they would like to close the period, then they have to follow these tasks and then they go and close the period rather than maintaining it in a separate spreadsheet. Yep. So under this template, as you can see that there's a month end option. So month end template has the specified task. You can have as many template as you would like to. Let's say for year-end activity, you might generate separate reports, and there may be some taxation transaction for year-end activity. So you may have to perform additional separate entries, which we actually don't do it on the month end. So you can create your separate template for your year-end activity as well by clicking on this add option. The area, the one which we have actually designed it on this task area, these are the modules. And based on these modules, you are basically defining the task, what actually the task would be under this account receivable. Maybe for accounts payable, you will be checking your open transactions and validate your bank statement. And if there's any uh, uh, paid transaction you would like to make a payment to that, so you can add as many tasks as you want. It's a it's a text free. You can enter any information in it. So here, the column 3 is the due date relation, where you can be able to define how many days will it take place. Let's say whenever we are going to run the periodic job for this one. Let's say I would like to close my October period and I have ran the job. So system will automatically calculate based on the dates and define when this particular task to be completed. Will Do we actually need to put 2 days to complete all these tasks, or 3 days or whatsoever? So you can be able to mention it so the respective resource can start working on it and it will be visible to their workspace. And again, you can define your due time as well along with your due date. As you can see that closing roles, again, it is again dependent upon closing roles. Like this particular task, uh, AR invoicing clerk role is responsible for that. And maybe for AR invoicing clerk is assigned to John. So when I see the workspace, John will be responsible for this particular activity. So same case for, multiple items here, the task which we are seeing it. So it will be driven and allocated to the respective resources. So again, Microsoft have updated some of the task list link in within this template. Let's say if you would like to define any specified URL or link, you can be able to define it for each and every single item. For example, post open payment journal is the task which I need to do for accounts receivables. So you can define the whole path next to this post open payment journal. So whenever I will open my workspace, I do not have to go into the account receivable module and then click on the payment and then click on the payment journal. You just go and click on the post open payment journal. It will directly take you to the payment journal form. So Microsoft tried to made some modification within these options here. Yep. Uh, Another option in this templates is you can be able to define predecessor or dependency on each of these items. For example, uh, you should be running your customer aging report before completing these two tasks. Yep. So once these two tasks are completed, then and only you should be generating the reports in order to submit it to your management. So you can be able to set any predecessors for that for the specified task. And again, you can also attach the documents or any instructions or notes next to the task where uh, some of the customer would like to put some specified notes or some instruction to follow. So or maybe send an email with these reports to the XYZ email address. So it can be you can be able to put these details on the attachment. Yep. Okay, the last setup which I'm going to talk about is the batch job. So every month and when you plan to close the period and you have to perform the task and activity, you have to go into the generate close schedule and uh, generate the job for the specified period. You can be able to generate it for the whole year and it will be visible for you, but you have to define that under this particular setup bit. And here, as you can see that the period which I have chosen is 1st of October till 31st of October, and the template which I have used is month end. So you can be able to choose YTD, year to date, or year end template if you would like to whenever you are going to close your fiscal period. And here you will be choosing your calendar for 5 days or whatsoever calendar is suitable for your company. And you can be able to generate this batch job for your multiple legal entity, or you can define it for the specified company. Yeah. Once you create it, it will just look like that, and it will show us that okay, this particular uh, task or job has been created it, and this is for the month of October. Yep. After completion of your whole configuration, then what you need to do is you need to go into your workspace, which is under general ledger module. Yep. So there are three items. One is the fiscal period close, another is summary, and third is task and status. The fiscal period close is you actually define which month or the job which we have ran you would like to see it. So obviously for October you may have different tasks and activities. For maybe September, you will be having different activities which needs to be completed. Some of the activities might have completed from the resources and some of them are not. So you will be seeing it based on your month end activities. For summary, again, as you can see that past due task. If you as I mentioned that we have to define the calendar and the due date, day and the time we have defined on the task area. Uh, so within that, system is basically calculating when these tasks are due, and we have to complete it or we have some buffer to be completed for those tasks. So all those tasks will be populating it there. Today's remaining task is quite self-explanatory. So what's needs to be done by today based on the due date. Today's blocked task. So for example, let's take an example of your customer aging. We have to generate the report and share it with the stakeholders or the management, but we can't generate the report, and it's my responsibility to submit it to the management. But Uh, Due to some reason, my fellow member have not completed the above task, which is payment journals and making an invoice from of the customer. So it will show you here that what is being blocked for which task. So you can be able to keep track of that one. And all remaining tasks is whatsoever outstanding tasks are remaining here. uh, Task and status here, as you can see that you basically see a status by company. Right now, as of now, I have set it up myself for USMF. So I'm just seeing USMF legal entity items. You can be able to see multiple tasks for the specified legal entity. And it basically shows you how many tasks are completed. So it give you a better visibility on what and how many items to be completed. Same case, you can be able to see your activities, the task based on your area. Area is nothing but just your module. Yep. Or maybe status by a person, your employee, and the task list, which is your whole list of item, the task which you have created it, and you can be able to see the whole picture of the task. Okay. uh, Moving further to the demonstration, and let's see how does it look like. So the setup part, which we just had a discussion, it comes under the general ledger module. It's under the periodic close, and there's an option here, financial period close configuration here. So within this financial period close configuration here, we have discussed about the task area. Uh, it's not dependent upon the module. You can define anything, but as per Microsoft, it is being advised that better to keep it as a module, so that whenever we are going to define any specified task, then you can be able to rectify, okay, the task is linked to this particular module. So again, these are the modules which we have defined it in the system. So you can define anything like payment, AR payment, and you, if you would like to go into more detail and put it as a narrow down into a specified area, you can be able to do that. Yep. The closing roles is again, it is again independent from your security role. I have created I have made it up by myself as accountant. You can define any role for any for this particular task. Let's say, as we have defined this finalizing period close, period billing, which is representing it to the sales order invoice. Yep. So for that, I have defined as AR invoicing clerk. So you can define any role for that, which is quite relevant to your business here. Yeah. So again, it is independent from the D365 security roles. Under resources, I have defined myself here, and chosen that okay, Zishan is responsible for these two roles. So whenever I defined this closing roles, then system will automatically assign the tasks which are linked to AR invoicing clerk and AR payment clerk, and it will be visible to my workspace. Yep. And again, we have discussed is the concept of these two. If I just choose only assign task, I'll just see my task which is being assigned to me. If I choose all tasks and status, it will show me everybody's whoever are being involved in it. So um, as you can see that here, project accountant, you can define as many legal entities as you would like to. Calendar is quite straightforward. You just update the holidays where we have any public holiday or lockdown period or anything. You can be able to set it up as no or whatsoever. So you can be able to make any changes on it. Under the template here, again, everything will be falling up from here other than this task. So you have to define your own meaning or information, whatsoever you would like to define it here. Uh, it's not dependent upon anything. So you can mention any information on it, whatsoever task you would like to define it. Yep. And here, the task link, which I really like it, and most of the customers are quite happy with this particular functionality, is when we click on this, it's basically ask you where actually you would like to go. So if I say all sales order, or maybe I'm just more concerned about the free text invoicing or whatsoever. So based on this link, it's basically give you an option on your workspace to click on it, and it will directly take you to this particular form. Also, there's an option here as a URL where you can define a URL by just copy and paste it here. Once you do so, it will directly take you to the specified form which you actually would like to go from this particular task. The other option is the dependency, which is more appreciable by the customer. Is if I click on these three dots and click on the set dependency. So what happens is it basically takes me to the item which I have actually created it here. And let's say I would like to set up a dependency of finalizing period billing here. If I click on OK, so what happens is it has basically set a dependency on my invoices. Once the full invoice is been completed from AR invoicing clerk, then this particular task should be completed here. Yep. And again, you can be able to attach your documents on by clicking on here and attach whatsoever document or notes you would like to do. You can be able to do it from here. Yep. Once done all these activities, you will just go into the closing schedule and run the job. Let's say October 2020. I'll just say 1st and 31st. The template which sorry, I missed one point is the month templates. I'll just go back and explain it to you. I'll just say USMF. So after creation of this job, the task has been assigned to the respective resources. Moving back to the template here, as you can see that I have month-end activity, a month-end template here, which is driving me all these items here. So you can be able to add new template by putting it as, let's say, year end. After creation of it, you have to define the the task. If you would like to, copy your whole item, the one which you see on the month end, you can also copy the template here and define as year end and go create. So system have automatically copied all the items from your year end. And if you would like to add any any specified item which should be different than month end, you can be able to do that from here. Or if you would like to delete it from your month end activities, you can be able to delete it from there. So system allows you to maintain as many templates as you would like to. Yeah. So once this particular configuration is completed, all you need to do is you will go into your general ledger module, and there's an option here as under workspace financial period close. If I click on it, and if I define which period I'm concerned about to perform the activities, so as you can see that right now nothing is selected, so all the items are empty here. If I go and choose October here, let me check if we have P invoicing clerk. So ideally, I don't know, something is not working here. So ideally what happens is once we have actually run this particular closing, then all tasks will be visible for us. Let me just quickly check if I can check any other environment here. Hold on. Let me switch the screens so that we can see. Okay, here, as you can see that these are the tasks which we are actually seeing it here. Yeah. So the moment we actually run the basically closing period schedule, so you actually see all the items which you have actually configured it in the system. And here you actually see the past due and what is blocking and all those items. So let's see that if I go into the task list, it's basically shows me each and every single items for other responsible person as well. Since I have defined all users, so everybody can be able to, I can be able to see all the users who are responsible for each of these tasks. Now, as you can see that there are some locking options, which is dependent upon some of the items. So we can be able to close or complete this particular option. It will give us an error by saying that this task is dependent upon another task. So we have to complete those tasks before we go into this currency revaluation. Again, as you can see that if I click on this particular option, it's directly taking it to me to the specified form. So we do not have to go into the form and go into the path and follow the follow the instruction by going into the module and then choose the options. So it will directly take you to the specified form, the activity which you need to perform on it. So once the task is completed, you just need to either click on this checkbox or just click on it and uh, uh, you will just click on this complete option, or if you would like to see the show completed task, it will be visible here if there are any completed tasks. And if you would like to keep it uncompleted, then you can directly go and uncomplete those tasks as well. So it has a mechanism to uncheck this particular option as well from here. Yep. So this is pretty much for today's session. Uh, let's take it up. Questions from here now.
Excellent, Zishan. Very insightful as always. Thanks again for giving this time. Yeah, please, if anyone has any question, please feel free to ask or raise his hand. All good. Don't see any question as of now. Seems like we still have to explore more. It's a still new, very new functionality. That's good. Yes, with this one, we will just close this particular session, but we will keep today's event open for any other questions. If anyone has any other questions other than the today's talk, please feel free to raise now if you want to discuss about something for your upgrade. What are you doing? And any question.